Hey guys, it's Jason, and I got a question for everyone today. Who remembers these bootlegs from the late 80s, early 90s? Back then, at least where I was at, this was the only way to watch Shaw Brothers movies. I did a video about how I got into martial arts movies, and I explained in the 80s, like the mid 80s, I lived in New Jersey and I could watch on Philly 57. That's how I got into Kung Fu movies. They had tons of Shaw Brothers. It was amazing. But when I moved to Virginia and then back to Pittsburgh, it was a dark period for me where I couldn't find them anywhere. Occasionally I could get one at a rental store like Two Champions of Shaolin, but that was few and far between. And I think these covers are so great. I have such a nostalgia for all these, but I really think some of them rival the Celestial covers they used once they got restored. Now, Tommy Retro, the admin over at the Mighty Shaw Brothers Vault, it's a Facebook group. He's really knowledgeable. He made some of these. I can't remember like which ones, but he would scan different press books and different Shaw Brothers posters, and they put them together, and they would sell them at conventions and down at the 43rd Chamber. I think that was the name of the video store where they would sell these at, over in New York City, of course. Got Abbott of Shaolin, aka Slice of Death. Man, it was so great to get these. And while I'm going here, I'll show you right here, Advantage Video. So in the back of Black Belt magazine and different martial arts magazines, they have ads for Dragon Video, which was where I first started, but then he ended up here at Advantage Video because it was cheaper. If you ordered a certain amount, you would get cool gifts. He sent me Rumble in the Bronx way before it was in the theaters, and my mind was blown. I actually have that over here. I'll show you guys. Yeah, this is the Rumble in the Bronx he sent me. Try to get my focus there. Love these catalogs. This is from 1998, but I started with them, I think, 94, 93. Just showing you guys a couple more here. We got Masked Avengers, one of my favorites. Of course, these are all English dubbed. Some of them say edited for television by Larry Bensky, so they were from the television source, but some are better quality. I love Destroyers. If you guys watched my Venoms countdown, that made my top 3. I really, really love that one. Grandmaster of Death. And then some of them, it looked like it was like a 5th generation copy almost. This is not as, good quality as Destroyers here. But these are where I got to see ones that I missed on television, and it just was so great every few months when I could get a few of these. The Spearman. And then occasionally I'd pick up, I think these were legit, the Vista Home Video versions, Super Ninjas. But in the store when I rented it, it had a more official label on it, so who knows, this could be a bootleg. It's what we were working with back then. And then later on in the 90s, there'd be these ones I'd run into at FYE in different stores. But strangely, these ones seem more cut than the bootleg versions. I don't know why. That doesn't really make sense because these were in official stores. And like I said, it's so hard with these Ground Zeroes and different ones to even know if they were legit. But if you bought Masked Avengers, for instance, at like a retail store in the late 90s, it was so chopped up, it would chop out different lines of dialogue. It was definitely a disappointment. So I usually stuck with my old standbys. So yeah, guys, just wanted to go down memory lane for a moment. Let me know down in the comments if you guys had any of these bootlegs. I loved them back in the day, and they got me through that dark period where you couldn't really get them anywhere else. And I was watching them all the way until Celestial start remastering and restoring them. But it's nice to still have them in my collection for sure. I got some more out of my storage here. I'm not sure how much more I have. This, of course, is Legendary Weapons of Kung Fu, an absolute classic. And this is how we got them back in the day. I did that video last time. I showed all the different covers, so you might recognize some of these. 10 Tigers of Kwang Tung. Got so many stars in that one. The Daredevils. You guys know how much I love the Venoms. I feel this is kind of an unsung one for them. How about that classic? A lot of people's favorite kung fu movie of all time. It's definitely up there for me. Now this is pretty interesting because this is actually, just a cardboard box. I like to put them inside these clamshells. And this was one I bought at, I can't remember where, I think it was Service Merchandise maybe. And while it seemed official, it's actually from NS Video, aka Ground Zero. And as far as I know, they were definitely just bootlegging the movies themselves. It wasn't officially sanctioned or authorized. But I was excited to get it. And like I said, the copyright was pretty much up in the air at the time. So it was in a gray area. Some more Venoms here. Avenging Warriors of Shaolin. Then we got this one, Crippled Avengers. Now they named it in America Mortal Kombat, and then at some point it became The Return of the Five Deadly Venoms, which is a strange title, but it kind of stuck, and people do kind of consider this the sequel, or at least used to, even though it wasn't filmed right after Five Deadly Venoms. They filmed Invincible Shaolin. Speaking of Invincible Shaolin, this was the name we knew it as back in the day. Unbeatable Dragon. Now some of these videos have better quality than others. It just depends on the source, if it was a copy of a copy. But I recall this one was pretty rough, pretty bad quality. It was actually the first Celestial remaster I watched, so it was neat because coming from this quality to the restoration by Celestial, my head nearly blew off. I could not believe it looked like an actual, almost modern film. It was unreal. Got some more Venoms here. Now this one is actually an official product with Shaw Brothers. They worked something out where Southgate Entertainment, I can't remember how many they did, maybe 6 to 12, had some official releases at the time. And you could tell the quality was really good on this. Got some Gordon Liu here. Directed by Lau Kar-leung. Some more Gordon Liu. Structures of Death. Now sometimes it would have the American title with the Chinese title, but usually they had just the American title on the box. Now this isn't Shaw Brothers, but it is the Venoms. It's the Guok Choi directed Ninja's Deadly Trap, or Ninja in the Deadly Trap, also known as Ninjutsu. I bought this in South Hills Village, or the Galleria down in South Hills of Pittsburgh. And I was really surprised to see the Venoms were in this one. Then we got one more here that is not a Shaw Brothers production, but they're showcasing the Shaw Brothers stars. Got Ricky Chang, Nine Demons, directed by Chang Che. Got some more NS Video here, aka Ground Zero. Invincible Shaolin. Now, if you know the Wu-Tang collection on YouTube, they've been going since back in the day, and as far as I know, this is the same people behind it. And they definitely put out a lot of classics, as you see there. Got some more from Ground Zero. Masked Avengers. And this is pretty much the tail end of the VHS releases. And there was some overlap as we moved into DVDs. I'm going to move through these a little faster because I got a lot of them. This was also NS Video. Ground Zero. Now this kid with the golden arm was nice. It wasn't chopped up. and it was a good print. A lot of these are from the VHS source, so it's kind of like, I don't know, the point of them being on DVD was, I guess, you know, you could play them on your DVD player, but I thought the VHS looked a little better, and there was a lot of these that were really chopped up. They were edited more than the VHS, which makes no sense to me. Brave Archer. Now, when it comes to the bootlegs, I know some people would have some nostalgia for these ones, but because they were edited more than the VHS, I was kind of disappointed. So I definitely preferred the VHS, and at this point, I was just kind of like waiting to see what was going to come next. This Masked Avengers is really chopped up. I mean, even some of the dialogue is missing. This is a bootleg of House of Traps. I think I got this off of eBay. Maybe around 2001. Can't recall exactly. Then you have these releases. This might have been official. You never know. Steeplechase. There's a lot of companies back then. Now this is NS Video's Platinum series. And you know what you got with the Platinum? Not much. It was pretty much the same crapshoot. It could have been all chopped up, or you could have had a version that wasn't cut as much, but it all seemed kind of the same to me, sourced from the VHS, usually. And then we got some Five Fingers of Death, aka King Boxer. Now this one, yet again, I'm not really sure if this was official, but I wanted to show it with the others. Alright guys, there's a look at some more of my bootlegs from back before Celestial started restoring everything. And in my next video, I'm actually going to be covering Celestial's restoration and how amazing it was to finally get all these Shaw Brothers properly restored, and how important that was for the martial arts cinema community across the board. And using the word bootleg isn't fully correct, because this was a period when in America there wasn't a copyright and there weren't physical releases. I'm referring to this grassroots effort that kept the interest in Shaw Brothers alive all those decades, when outside of just a few physical releases, there weren't legit copies in the market of these Shaw Brothers classics. And special shout out to Tommy Retro, because he gave me so many scans of these covers that you guys can check out in a second here. They look beautiful, and this just takes me back. He ran Venom Video. They supplied 43rd Chamber in New York City and had their own catalog. He made most of these covers you're going to see here. It just was a great period. Let me know down below if you guys recognize a lot of these, and let's just jump into it. So this is a tribute to the decades when the fans made and circulated these bootlegs and kept the love for these Shaw Brothers films alive.